Hey guys, it's Edwin here, and today we are going to talk about some of your vulnerabilities and weaknesses that make you susceptible to narcissist. You see, like one question you may ask yourself after being involved with a narcissist is something like, why did they target you or why me? Narcissists love exploiting your weaknesses and vulnerabilities as they seek to supply their needs. Your weaknesses are the doors which let them in and keep you in that relationship. And there's no problem with having weaknesses, but it becomes a problem if there are people out there who also have their own weaknesses, like a lack of empathy and very deep insecurity, but now use those weaknesses to hurt others. So, narcissists are constantly looking out for those doors in you which they may easily exploit and enter into your life. When you know those character flaws or traits, you can at least empower yourself and grow above them so that the narcissist cannot manipulate you. So, this video is for you if you really want to close that door and lock out narcissists out of your life forever. And one thing we also have to notice is that you can be a very loving, caring, and good-hearted human being, but you just find yourself unconsciously handing power away and leaving yourself susceptible to narcissistic people. And you will also understand it in this video. So stay tuned. First thing that will make you vulnerable to a narcissist is your constant need for approval and validation from other people. You see, one thing that a narcissist loves feeding you with in the beginning of the relationship is constant approval and validation in life. So, when you love being validated by other people, you will be easily controlled and you'll become susceptible to empty flattery or empty words, which mostly happens in the love bombing phase of the relationship. Of course, some level of validation may be necessary in life, but when it becomes neurotic, then that's where it makes you very vulnerable. When you want approval from someone else to feel good about yourself, then you'll be opening doors to people who will just give it to you. But in return, they'll now be grooming you for their supply. They'll be grooming you so that you can supply their own needs. The other thing is, when you seek approval from others, you'll also be overly agreeable and you'll get easily attached to other people's opinions about you. So, when you find yourself like in a narcissistic relationship, you'll keep trying harder and harder to get their approval so that you are reassured that you are a good person. It's like you base your goodness as a person to what someone else is telling you, which a narcissist knows quite well. So you will try to explain yourself, justify your actions, or argue a truth which plays into the hands of the narcissist. When all along, the only validation and the only approval you need in life is deep within you, from yourself. You are only lacking approval from yourself, not approval from the narcissist. You lack your own self-validation. What makes you vulnerable to narcissists also is if you have a fixer or a saver kind of mindset. This is where you feel that it's your job to save or fix other people. This is quite a tricky one actually, because your ego may feed you with this inner voice like, I can really fix them. They are so good at the core. I just have to try harder and harder. You just have this inner belief that your job here on earth is to save others or to fix others. This mindset is very dangerous, especially when it's entangled with you being like a believer or being a person of faith. When you're a believer with a fixer mindset, a narcissist will just exploit that weakness so well because they know that they can do as they wish, but you'll still want to change them, but you can't do anything about it. The narcissist may get in trouble with local authorities or just financial trouble, but you will still be there to resolve that crisis. You will be also giving them many chances because you are constantly feeding yourself with this false premise that this time I'll manage to change them. I now understand them. You see where you're going? This time I will do it. This is actually the hardest mindset to pull out of. But one thing that may shed some light in this is you cannot force change out of someone. We can only facilitate change if that person is already showing the willingness or the deep willingness to change. When you are a fixer, Your worldly perspective might even view a narcissist as a great challenge. Like, if I manage to change the narcissist, then my life purpose on have is like complete. And a narcissist will also reinforce this by feeding you with empty false promises of change, or like talk to you about their story or their traumatic past, which makes you stuck in these murky waters where you try harder and harder to fix the unfixable. And that's how you've been exploited by the narcissist. You are trying to fix the unfixable. The third weakness that a narcissist will exploit is your lack of firm boundaries. The best way to look at boundaries is seeing it as where your life ends and the other begins. So when you have clear, healthy personal boundaries, you know what you cannot tolerate from another person. In fact, it's the key to keeping people from taking advantage of you. So when you lack boundaries, you'll just be the perfect specimen for a narcissist, because they can just do as they wish. They can do anything and you won't say anything about it. So when you don't know what's within your scope of control in life, you will also constantly overstretch or find yourself feeling so depleted emotionally or financially by people who seek to use you for their own needs, because you don't know where the line ends. And when you cannot say no when people treat you badly, of course they'll see it as a normal thing, so they'll just continue doing it. So like when you don't have these firm boundaries, you'll just take crap from the narcissist because you don't know any better. You don't know your true values, your interests, or limits. It's more like being an open supermarket where anyone can walk in, pick what they want, and leave. So, not being able to keep and uphold healthy boundaries will mean that you can be exploited very easily, as you don't even know if you are being exploited or not. You don't know. You don't know your limits. So you can just keep going and going. The fourth thing that a narcissist will exploit in you is your superficiality and lack of depth in life. You see, one thing about life, especially let's say in the present times, is we put so much energy on superficial things like luxuries, the cars, the money, and all those other external things, and we associate them with a show of a quality life. We focus on the outer richness, more of like an extrinsic approach or an extrinsic form of happiness, instead of looking at inner richness or looking at a life with depth. So, when you focus so much on the outside glamour of life, you will be vulnerable to narcissists. This is because anyone can manufacture a deceitful outer life just to get to you. They may smooth talk you with how they've got their life together and how they will take you to those exotic vacations, or they build that beautiful house by the mountains just to get to you. So when you are susceptible to what you see from a person, their money and all those things, without even scrutinizing how that person is on the inside, then of course you'll be susceptible to narcissism, because anyone can manufacture an outside deceitful life, but not everyone can manufacture a life with depth, with happiness, with authenticity. So they're just using those things, those superficial things, to cover up what they are deep inside. And because we associate our happiness with those superficialities, we easily follow along. Like, I want to go to that vacation, so I don't care about the other things. And superficialities like that will even distract us from doing due diligence or scrutinizing the person for things like authenticity, trustworthiness, or just something on an inner level. You don't even want to verify if they're lying to you or telling you the truth, because you feel that if you look around so much, you will ruin those fantasies they've already started showing you. You will also ignore your gut feeling because your mind is just so glued on the days you'll spend together in the sandy beaches of Bali. So when your life lacks this depth, this quality, a narcissist will exploit that, and they will also give it to you because you want it on an upper level. So when your life lacks depth on an inner level, a narcissist will take advantage of your inability to look past those shallow aspects of life. Of course, there's no problem with these superficialities or owning the cars, But it becomes a huge problem when you associate the quality of life with them instead of what you are feeling deep inside. So, have a rich and deep life where you can just be deeply happy even when you are having your soup and rice and soup, and you not be gullible to those extrinsic fantasies, because anyone can manufacture that fantasy just to get to you. But if you just happy deep inside, it means that no one can sway you with those things. They have to do something better. They have to be more honest. They have to be more open. They have to be more vulnerable. It becomes like a rich kind of connection, not a superficial connection. The other thing which a narcissist will exploit is your unhealed wounds. You see, when you are wounded, you'll make easy prey for the narcissist. Because one thing with life is we'll tend to subconsciously relive old patterns in life. So, because of our past traumatic situations, we may have also developed subconscious beliefs about how love and relationships are supposed to look like. These beliefs can be something like, oh, we don't deserve to be loved, we are so unworthy, love is all about suffering. So you may also find it really hard to say no or stand for yourself because you have a weak sense of self, like you don't have a foundation of deep security deep within you. So when you are deeply insecure, a narcissist will easily manipulate and toy with you. Your subconscious beliefs or your false beliefs will also keep you in that relationship longer because you deeply even don't know how a healthy relationship is supposed to look like. You will in fact feel comfortable in an abusive relationship because it's a familiar kind of pattern. So this they reinforces the trauma bonding, which makes you feel like you are really deeply in love with them. The last thing which a narcissist will exploit is your secrets or those things you want to keep private, like those skeletons in your closet. Because a narcissist will keenly sniff out those things you are hiding from others, especially early on in the relationship. So they just collect information about you, knowing that when the time comes, they may use it against you. So because of course they display this trustworthy side early on, you even share with them your dirty little secrets. So when you expose those secrets you've been keeping away from others, you are already exposed and you are already vulnerable. The secret may be something like, oh, your family history, your sexual past, your shady business deals, your embarrassing personal life situation, or just anything which you've been hiding that you don't want other people to see. Once you share those secrets with them, they become so weaponized, and of course they use them as a tool for control. So you become very vulnerable to manipulation because the pain of exposing those secrets is just too much to bear. So they will exploit those things you keep in secret to get to you. They might also use it as a tool for their smear campaign or to isolate you from people. So keep those secrets to yourself if they really make you vulnerable. But if you can share, it's okay. But if you really feel that someone might use it to control you, then keep them to yourself. So, to conclude, a narcissist will use you to get to you. They will not use like resources which are out there to exploit you. No, they will use the what's already within you and weaponize it to get their needs met. So the thing you can do is look at your vulnerabilities and weaknesses, not in a negative way, but look at them as your chance to outgrow them. You have the power to transcend those weaknesses and just keep away narcissists from your life. And when you work on your undesirable character flaws, you are also doing it for yourself. You are doing it to enhance the quality of your life. Yes, the byproduct will be, of course, keeping away narcissists out of your life. But when you work on yourself, you are doing it for your own quality life, for your own happiness, for your own inner peace. So do not beat yourself up for having those weaknesses like being a fixer, like being a people pleaser, or all those kind of things which make you vulnerable. But instead, look at them with grace and look at them as a great challenge for you to transcend. And once you rise above them, or even as you work on them, the quality of your life will greatly improve. And you will not even be bothered about falling prey to narcissists. So, as always, you hold the key to living the happy life you deserve, but you have to be willing to do the work that's necessary to really get it. Not the narcissist, you. who's watching this. Hope you found this informative, guys. Until next time, feel free to share, subscribe, and comment. See ya.